Certain the slides part 4 or 5. So this is using the positioning styles continued. So this is the module 3 slides part, the last part. Should be the last part. So it says it's a figure. It says placing the first information box. It's a code here. So it has a comment infographic styles. So it says div.infobox. Now the dot. Forgot if it's a class or an identifier. I think it might be a class. Not 100% sure. So then it's open a block. It says position colon space absolute semicolon. So that places every information box using absolute positioning. Then it says another comment, first infographic. And a comment. So it has a div hashtag info1 open a block. It says display colon space block semicolon. New line top colon space 20px semicolon. New line left colon space 5% semicolon. Displaces the first box 20 pixels from the top edge of the main element and 5% from the left. So it has another figure. Appearance of the first information box. It's all about chocolates. Placement of the first information box. Seems to be a picture with a writing on it. Like picture with a description. It says the first box of Valentine's Day chocolates was created by British chocolatier Richard Cadbury in 1868. There's a factory. Okay, so the next one is using the positioning styles. Positions of the second and third boxes. This is using the positioning styles. Continue 3. Positions of the second and third boxes. Okay, so it says in the comments, second infographic. Then it has div hashtag info to open a block. Display colon space block semicolon new line top colon space 185px semicolon left colon space 42% semicolon. So after a semicolon I won't say new line. So this places the second box 185 pixels from the top and 42% from the left. Third infographic is exactly the same, except it's div hashtag info 3 open a block display colon space block semicolon top colon space 135px semicolon left colon space 75% semicolon. So there it has 3 different pictures with descriptions. They're called info boxes. So it says a single cocoa tree produces about 800 bars of milk chocolate and 400 bars of dark chocolate every year. Then it says the Ivory Coast accounts for 30% of worldwide cocoa production. That in Africa. Okay. So it says handling overflow. Overflow controls a browser that handles excess content. Overflow controls a browser that handles excess content. So I think that's just when it doesn't fit all on the screen. But that is not what it says. So it says overflow colon space type semicolon. Where type is visible. The default, and it says that in parentheses, comma hidden, comma scroll, comma or auto. That says visible. Instructs browsers to increase the height of an element to fit overflow contents. This is handling overflow continued 1. So it says hidden. Keeps an element at the specified height and width, but cuts off excess content. Keeps an element at this. The next one is scroll. Keeps an element at the specified dimensions, but adds horizontal and vertical scroll bars. Auto keeps an element at the specified size. Adding scroll bars when they are needed. So auto keeps an element as specified. So it's adding scroll bars when they're needed. Okay. Check here. Do you see that? It's also like a fucking picture that's so fucking old. I don't know where you found that shit. Okay, so it says CSS3 provides the overflow X and overflow Y properties to handle overflow, especially in the horizontal and vertical directions. Okay, so it has a bunch of crap here. Okay, so I don't read all this shit, but what it is values of the overflow property. It says overflow colon space visible semicolon, so it's showing that the figure is like everything's visible, all the text. So it's all there. You can see it all, there's no scroll bars. So it says box extends to make all the content visible. The next one is overflow hidden. Overflow hidden. What it looks like is that the text is hidden and inaccessible. There's no scroll bar. So some of the text is hidden and there's no scroll bar. So it's like you can't even reach it if you want to. It's unreachable text. So it says overflowed content is hidden from the reader. Okay, next one is overflow. So what I meant by that was overflow colon space hidden semicolons. The next one is overflow colon space scroll semicolon. So it looks like text is hidden, but there's a scroll bar and it's accessible. So the user can scroll around to find it. So it says, description is, horizontal and vertical scroll bars are added to the box. So there's two scroll bars, left and bottom, top and bottom, or like side and bottom. So the last one is overflow colon space auto semicolon. This is, the description is scroll bars are added only when needed, so it adds it if it's needed. If not, it doesn't add anything. I think it manages it for you. Okay. So here, there's so handling overflow continued 3. So it says setting the overflow property. It says main styles in the comment. It has main open a block. What is main? Didn't say what main was. It says overflow colon space auto semicolon position colon space relative semicolon height colon space 450px semicolon width colon space 100% semicolon. Okay, so display scroll bars if the content overflows the allotted height. Display scroll bars if the content. So it's auto, so it's set to auto, and we saw what the description was for auto. So they're focusing on overflow here. Then it says sets the height of the infographic to 450 pixels, so this all seems to be okay. Well, it didn't show what main was. Or did it? Is main a built-in word? Keyword? I guess you'll have to look at the example. So it says clipping an element. So clip defines a rectangular region through which an element's content can be viewed. Defines a rectangular region through which an element's content can be viewed. What element though? I don't understand what element it's referring to. Then it says anything that lies outside the boundary of the rectangle is hidden. So anything that lies outside the boundary of the rectangle is hidden. Okay. This is clipping an element. The syntax of the clip property is clip colon space rect rect then parentheses top comma right comma bottom comma left semicolon. So you may have seen a clip somewhere on a website. I don't really remember seeing a clip. Perhaps where they do those magnifying glass things, but I'm not sure if that's it. So then it says where top, right, bottom, and left define the coordinates of the clipping rectangle. So clipping an element, or clipping, so it says clipping an element at the top of the page, then it says figure, clipping an image. It looks like they've just taken an image. They've tried to, so imagine the image is a rectangle, it's strawberries. So they're taking like a line at the top, portion of the top, and saying, okay, 270px. So it looks like it could have been 300px, but they only drew the line to 270px. Then the left side of it, they only did like a third to a fourth of it, and it's like 100px. And the bottom, they've done like a sixth of it, or a fifth of it, and it's like they're like 65px. Then the right side, they've taken a portion of it. They're like 260px. So I think the rectangle was 300 by 300 by 300 by 300, or 300 by 300 px. But they've taken that to do that, and they're showing a little strawberry. So they've clipped it. So stacking elements. By default, elements that are loaded later by a browser are displayed on top of elements that are loaded earlier. To specify a different stacking order, use the following z-index property. Z-index. So that's showing what the form of the syntax is. So z-index colon space value semicolon, where value is a position or negative integer. Sorry, where value is a positive or negative integer, or the keyword auto. Stacking elements. So the z-index property works only for elements that are placed with absolute positioning. I'm not sure what a z-index property is. It didn't really say what it was. I think it's just, these are just variables. They just plug into functions, so there's not really they're not really, it's not like it's like stacking order variable or stacking order camel case or something. It's nothing like that. So the index property works for elements that are placed with absolute positioning. So I have a figure here using the z-index property to stack elements. So they have like z-index 1 on the very bottom, z-index 2 on the second one, z-index 3 on the third one. So they're like little colored pieces of paper, or colored squares. But like the turquoise one is z-index 1, that's on the bottom. Then there's like a pink one, like a light, there's like a hot pink. No, there's like a light pink square, square. That's a z-index 2 that's stacked on top of the turquoise one. Whatever color that is, like pine green. Then there's a square that's a z-index 3 that's like a darker pink. That's stacked on the top of the second one, so it looks like it's on the top. And the z-index one is on the bottom. It says an element C index value determines its position relative only to other elements that share a common parent. To an element's Z dash index value determines its position relative only to other elements. The index value determines its position relative only to other elements that share a common parent. An element's C index value determines its position relative only to other elements that share a common parent. There's the figure here. Stacking nested objects. So it's showing the exact same figure, but in this time, like with the three squares, colored squares, rectangles. So it's like it's showing there's an arrow pointing to the pine or turquoise rectangle. It's like C index is 4. That's all it. Actually no. Z index, it was showing Z index before. Yeah, it was Z index 1, 2, and 3. Now they're showing a fourth one, so it's like on the turquoise one. That seems to be all for this. So that's the end of the slides. Then there's the missing parts in the book. So I'm gonna have to like circle those, go through them specifically and come back. So if we just end that one there, probably just continue on to the fourth one then for now. Or we can go back and have a look, I'll see.